Hey YouTube, it's Jonathan, and today I'm putting some makeup on for you. I am doing a little bit more of a full-on look, similar to, but not the same as, my last full-on makeup look, which you can click on right here to check out or look in the description box for the link to that. You all seem to like that video pretty well, so I'm gonna go ahead and not like replicate it because that would be boring, but do another full-on look with more of a full coverage, kind of a bit of a contour, and just kind of do it up for you. I'm going to start by priming my face with a little bit of the Pore Perfecting Primer from Urban Decay. This is a great primer, not as kind of slippery feeling as Professional or any of those other kind of super silicone-y primers are. This kind of has more of a creamy feel. It's a little bit thicker than your average primer, but I really like the way this makes my skin look. I said that I was going for full coverage, and I will eventually get to the full coverage section of the tutorial, but I'm going to start out by using a little bit of a lighter finish foundation, and this is the Smashbox Liquid Halo in the shade 2. I'm just going to be putting a couple dots of that around my face, blending it with my fingers, and then finishing it off with a foundation brush. Next, I'm going to take two shades of my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, Vanilla and Custard, Custard for around the face and Vanilla under the eyes to highlight. I'm applying the lighter concealer under my eye in sort of a V shape and then patting it in with my fingertips and finishing off with the brush. Then the darker concealer just on the spots, kind of where I need it around my nose and on any blemishes, and then patting it in with my finger as well. To set under my eyes and anywhere that I highlighted on the face, I'm going to take my Ambient Lighting Powder from HOURGLASS in the shade Diffused Light on a little kind of powder brush and just hit those areas. Now to set and give full coverage to the rest of my face, I'm going to be using my Balance and Brighten foundation from L'Oreal in the shade Fair, and I'm just using the same powder brush to work that into the skin, kind of focusing on those areas that I didn't apply the lighter powder, and then kind of blending it all in together. You can see how much more coverage that gave my skin, and it perfected the look. I'm not normally a big fan of powder foundations, but the Balance and Brighten powder is not as thick or as, cakey feeling as some can tend to be, and it doesn't settle quite as quickly as others on my skin. Now to give my skin a subtle contour and bronzed look, I'm going to be using my Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade 102 Tantric. This is matte, so you can definitely use this to contour, and I'm going to be placing that lightly under my cheekbones, around the hairline, and then kind of blending it upwards to also warm up the skin. I'm also sweeping this under my chin and around my jawline just to give that area a more structured look. Contouring with a duo fiber brush ensures that you don't get any harsh lines on your face, gives you a much more blended, blown out kind of natural look. You can see that there's definition under the cheekbone, definitely more structured than there was before, but it doesn't look harsh and it doesn't look fake or drawn on. It just kind of looks like a natural shadow. Now I'm going to take a smaller duo fiber brush just to add a little bit of that contour to the socket line, this area of my nose just to thin out where my brow is, and just around the tip of my nose to make that look a little bit thinner as well. If you ever go too far with any of your contour, you can always take your powder brush that you used earlier and just lightly run over them to diffuse them a little bit more, and there may be a little bit of product on here still, which will also help to blend it into the rest of your products. The blush that I'm using today is from Cargo. This is called BALI. I'm going to be placing that from the outer corner of my eye and blending upwards and backwards diagonally along the contour just to kind of blend that in. And I don't want to bring this too far onto the flat plane of my face because on the shape of face that I have, it tends to kind of ruin the contoured effect and just make it look like I didn't even contour. So I'm just going to kind of follow the contour line. And to highlight with a little bit of shimmer, I'm going to be taking my Bobbi Brown shimmer brick in the shade Pink Quartz and using that little tiny duo fiber brush that I used from earlier and really pinpointing that on the top of my cheekbones, under my brow, and on the inner corner of my eye. I'm also going to hit this above my upper lip and just on my chin. I just curled my lashes and used my typical NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Espresso. This is my usual combination. You see me do this 100 times. Another typical product for me, this is my Anastasia Browies in the shade Soft Brown. You've seen me do this 100 times as well, but I've been doing this a bit lighter than I normally would, especially with a full kind of contoured, full coverage look. I think a lighter, softer brow kind of balances everything out and makes it not look like super you know, extra. So I'm using this very lightly through my brows, focusing it mainly on the tails and the arches, and then just kind of using the smallest amount of product through the front of the brows. For lips, I'm going to start out with my L'Oreal Jennifer's Nude. This is my favorite nude lipstick. Perfect, like, my lips color. Not super shiny, not matte either, just kind of in between. And then over that, I'm going to take the tiniest amount of my CC Plus lip serum from IT Cosmetics. This is in the shade Laugh, which is, again, a perfect Your Lips But Better nude kind of shade. And I'm just putting that on with the applicator and blending it out with my fingertips. And this is the finished look. I know it's a little bit different for me, a little more full coverage, and I also went into contouring, which is something that I don't normally do. It's not my favorite look, but when you do it more subtly, kind of with a looser kind of brush, make it look a little bit more airbrushed, I think the look is very nice. I'm not a huge fan of striped contouring. It doesn't look good on my face particularly. Some people can rock it, some people look excellent, but it's just not for me, so I hope you all enjoyed this more natural approach to contouring. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions about any of the products that I used today or ideas for videos you'd like to see in the future. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. You can go ahead and click on my face right now to do that. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Both of those things are at JonJonTalks, and I will see you all next time. Bye!